Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies, in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with the fight, in the dark he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite, join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Take a picture.
Another day has arrived, and we are still in the same place of disarray. Hope is in the distance. I can see a tiny glimpse of light, just a tiny, tiny light. It is there, I know it. I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive, yesterday has gone, but this I know, today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine, he has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance. Tomorrow may not arrive, I can feel it in my heart. I have prayed for it for oh so long. I know that it is coming our way. Tomorrow may not arrive, yesterday has gone, but this I know, today is gonna turn out just right. Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine, he has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our Colonel Chris is a ray of sunshine. He has arrived just in time to keep that tiny light in the horizon still burning bright. Our prayers are being answered, so don't despair. Someone we can trust, which has been a long time coming when our hopes were shattered. He is that tiny bright light in the distance.
Wow, folks, it's truly absolutely amazing what messages were missed. That's why I've always told people not to send me messages on my personal account, wherever you got it from. That's not where you're supposed to send me stuff. I've just come across a message from June of 2021 that someone wrote to me from Johannesburg asking for advice on where to buy certain things to keep their business going. I hope their business survived. I've never seen the message. Tammy is the person who sent me the message. My profound apologies, but this is why I don't want messages sent to that account, because I don't access that account for those things. I get thousands of messages there every day, and sometimes I miss things, particularly if it doesn't stand out from an email address or the name. And an Anglo-Saxon name, which this was, doesn't jump out at me. An Afrikaans, German, or French Huguenot name does jump out at me, as well as African names. So anyway, welcome back to the program tonight, folks. The Neanderthals are here, Canine's there, right-wing podcasters there, all the aspiring car guards are hanging out everywhere. Let me say hello to everybody tonight for the Night Owls edition, and see how we go. It's been a very long 48 hours for me, folks. Basically, my day yesterday was about 18 hours, maybe 19 hours before I went to bed. Got up this morning, got busy again, and today I had the veterans meeting, so I left. I was gone from 2 o'clock, and I came home at 10 o'clock at night. So 8-hour workday just doing the veterans affairs. Unfortunately, had to deal with some issues tonight and sort those out. So, anyway. Gideon Maloney, welcome to Bernadette Conaway, Chantal Fenter, Expat Family, Joubert, Adrian Frick. Good day from the Republic of Switzerland. Okay, Adrian. Whereabouts in Switzerland have you told me before? And Rudolf Skeppers, hello to you. Oh, so Adrian Frick is from the Schweiz. Okay. Oh, he's a Kiwi. Okay, born and bred Kiwi. Living in Switzerland. Oh, cool. I like Switzerland. A little expensive, though. I prefer Liechtenstein. But in the middle of nowhere, says Chantal. Everyone from Seattle, where sunset over the ocean is less than an hour away. Yes, it's long past sunset on this side of the Atlantic. Or the continent, I should say. All right. Mr. Echo, Chris Stander, Denise Bellingen. She said it was pronounced French way. Bellingham. Bellingham. Fons. Monica Velgamont. Alabella. Cara Fermac. Paul. What's going on? Good to see you there. David van Reenen. Elaine White. Interesting way to spell it. Wendy DeVee. Rakes. AJ Quinn. Jack-up. Christo Barnard. Mitten. Free salmon is always a win. Yeah, as long as you cook it. Don't like raw salmon. Esmeralda Pretorius, welcome to you. Jan Els. Haley Senecal. CB. Leona Watley. Okay, Denise. Maybe say good morning from Port Alfred. Pendile, welcome to you. Otsihili Jang. Momo, Christopher Mayer, Jewel S.A., missed a few here. Xavier Grayling's back. Werner Kotzer. Kratos, welcome to Multipass, Leilu Dallas. Sonneblum, Helen de Swart, Marcel Labaskakny. Rakes, Andrew Kerr, Jules. Okay, that's where I was. Anime is back. Paul. I'm behind on email and behind on WhatsApp messages. Apologies, folks. But I mean, I've worked an 8-hour day just doing veterans things. Before that, I already worked an 8-hour day. So that's 16 hours. And here we are again. So apologies if I'm behind that stuff. On the upside, I'm down to 33,000 unread email messages. And I've made some dent in the email account, which who knows how big it was to begin with. But by the time I figured out how I could check it, it was down to 28 gigabytes. And now I'm down to 26.94, so I've got rid of 2.1 gigabytes. Still got a ways to go. Going to wind up having to delete messages I want to keep because it's not going to be enough of the 33,000 unread messages, I think. Dirk Kutsia, Eamon O'Neill, welcome to you. Jean Spence. Oh, I just had deja vu. DeBarham. Andrew Kerr. And who else? Marius Fenter. I think I've got everybody now. Helen Swart. Okay, Eamon O'Neill. That sounds very Irish, my friend. Very Irish. You come from the Emerald Isle, do you know? No, from the Gaeltacht. Have you been out to the Gaeltacht? Yeah. No, it's nice. Gonna have a little crack, you know. Enjoy ourselves this evening. No, none of that Guinness. That stuff is quite nasty. No, sure, the little feller. Yeah, no, we were talking to the little feller. Sumeri is late to the party, but the party's just getting started. Now, the party didn't start till I walked in, and I probably won't leave until the thing ends. But in the meantime and in between time, you go your way and I'll go mine. Well, we came here together so we could have fun. You and me, baby, going one-on-one. 4 minutes left. The master of fun. I think our master's called having fun. Yo-yo with Will. Nicola, a wee bit of crack, yeah. Yeah. 5 minutes of funk. Pull your bottom off a tree stump. Ladies real pretty, city to city. Well, now we get down to the nitty-gritty. From the bottom to the top to the bottom. 3 minutes left. Party starts too late for me. I have to get up early. Ah, Mitten. Okay, will it help if people resend their emails? No, it won't, Dogzilla. And trolling isn't going to enamor you to me either. Yves Lombard, welcome to you. Nicholas Dawson says, good morning. I went a little bit late. Okay, it's all right, folks. It's all right. I'm in a music mood. Oh, so. Karen Graham, welcome to you. Anyway, folks, a few things happening. Later today, President Trump will be meeting with Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin at Elmendorf Air Force Base. Now, they call it Elmendorf-Richardson Joint Base. It's not joint. They're physically separated, but they like to do that nonsense, pretending they're saving money by making the job twice as hard for one person, combining the services on Army and Air Force installations. It doesn't work very well. Anyway, yeah, they do it. They do Joint Base Andrews. It's not a Joint Base. It's Air Force Base Andrews. Ridiculous. Sad news. Vandals decimated the cemetery in Ramfontaine. Yeah, they're just terrible. They're terrible. They did that to Coustellare's gravesite. Worried about the ground level moment, Andrew. Yeah, I get that. A lot of people are concerned about what's happening in South Africa. Wonder if this meeting will be the one that works. I don't think so, but we'll see what happens. I plan to cover the press conference afterwards. It hasn't been announced. I have to look and see what time does Trump meet Putin. Let me see. What time does Trump meet? It'd probably be later in the day because he's out in Alaska, and that's a few hours behind us. Let me see. Does it give us the time? Okay. It's not saying there. Doesn't say. It's irritating. This is where. Going to tell us. I know where, but it's going to tell us what time. Does not say. I'm looking for the time. No, BBC article doesn't tell me either. I guess we'll have to play it by ear, but they're a few hours behind. Current time in Alaska must be at least 4 hours behind, I'm guessing. Current time in Anchorage. Alaska is 7:15. So 4 hours difference. That's why I said it must be 4 hours. So if he meets him at noon, that'd be 4 p.m. my time. Where did you find 3:30 Eastern? That makes sense. That'd be 11:30. That's going to interfere with my crabs. I'll have to order my crabs later. Yeah, well, I plan on doing that. That'd be 9:30 for folks in South Africa, but I plan on covering their press conference. That's the meeting, but when's the press conference? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I guess I have to play it by ear. Holding thumbs for Trump meeting to end that Russia mess. Some rumors of North Korean soldiers deployed. No rumors. North Korean soldiers were deployed, and they died in large numbers. Song is right. You're sunshine. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Monica. Democrats love to pivot to his campaign promise to resolve the war in 24 hours, so it would be great if to shut the... Well, it won't shut them up, Paul. They'll still complain, even if he solves it. From now, material costs and logistics, fuel costs, but price gouging is a real possibility. What are you talking about? Henny, welcome to you. Tony Pretorius. Baron Hendrik Boykes, welcome to you. Team Car Guard. There you go. Rand 10 says Trump doesn't dim the lights. Henry Ellers. Everybody's seen the price increase in Kellogg's cornflakes. No, it has nothing to do with tariffs. Why, Henry? There's no tariffs. There's no tariffs. Dude, see, you have fallen for the propaganda of South Africans. Oh, tariff. There's no tariff increase. Goods imported from America haven't seen any increase in price from tariffs. The tariffs apply to things you export to America, things we pay for. We don't buy cornflakes from South Africa. We buy wine. We buy BMWs and Mercedes. We buy platinum. We buy diamonds occasionally. We don't buy cornflakes from there. That doesn't change. There is no tariff on cornflakes. They're probably manufactured in South Africa for all I know. That's just you being gouged by merchants because people don't know better. Just don't shop at the place. Don't shop wherever they did it. Henry, that's just nonsense, man. That's nonsense. Were you ever in live combat? Yeah, 5 combat tours. Why do you ask, Gavin? And what would it matter anyway? The people who don't serve in combat, they serve honorably too. Yeah. Yes, I'm a combat veteran. I have all my fingers and all my toes. Corruption. Zelensky probably in France. Drove in past Unisa last night and preparations in full swing for the idiotic dialogue. Yep. Say product prices seem to be rising, but that's due to current other economic conditions. You just said it. Gouging. Yep. Yeah, you spelled it right. Gouging is correct. Yep. Most big names will milk the rumor and blame it on tariffs, and people won't know better. Peter Talliard, good morning to you. Martin Fundamental. I would make something present because I would tell Russia and even Israel. Exactly. 100 emails. I cannot imagine so many. Well, expat families, Joubert, I had 419,000 unread email messages about 2 weeks ago. I'm down to 33,000. No, it will affect you from the standpoint your economy is going to be destroyed because the people who produce things for the U.S. market have no place to send them now, so they're not producing, and they will lose their jobs. And then the people that they buy things from, they rent from, and the places they visit will no longer get money from them, and so they will lose their jobs, and it will have a knock-on effect for their suppliers. That is the problem. But it's not many people that export and import unless they're middlemen, but not producers. Producers won't have any impact. Nothing changes. Companies will raise their price to keep their wallets full to make up for what they lose on the export side. But they're not. Okay. I get what you're saying. But left-handed BMWs produced in South Africa aren't going to be sold in South Africa. They're going to be sold in left-handed markets. So it's not going to have any impact on you. And if they can't sell them, then the jobs are lost. Michael Byrne, long time no see. Good to see you again. Geo. Oh, boy. So, yeah, it doesn't have any impact on you guys, okay? So, who asked the question about combat tours? Who was that? Ouch, my arm, elbow. Somebody asked that question. Where's that at? I don't see it. I lost it. Fluffy navel. I missed that. Varushka's here. I missed Varushka. Welcome to you. Who asked that question? Somebody asked that question. There it is. It was Gavin Grant. Okay, Gavin, did I answer it? Okay. Always interesting hearing. So, no, it's fine, Gavin. I was just curious why you asked it. So, I joined the Army in 1983. I enlisted. I was in the Signal Corps. Went to basic training in Missouri. Then went to advanced individual training in Georgia at Fort Gordon. Became a multi-channel communications equipment operator stationed in Germany during the Cold War. Went to college and university classes at night whenever I could, and weekends when I wasn't deployed on exercises. Then from there, went back to university, graduated, got commissioned as an intelligence officer, went to my basic course in Arizona. Then I went to Germany, where I was assigned to the 3rd Armored Division. We did a combat maneuver training center rotation and a gunnery rotation, not in that order. And then you do gunnery, then you do the combat arms training center. Then immediately after coming back from that, I was sent on the advance party to Saudi Arabia for the Gulf War, and got there in December of 1990, and then was there until late May of 1991. After the Gulf War, served in the 7th Corps in the 3rd Armored Division, 3rd Battalion, 8th Cavalry, M1 Abrams Unit. We fought against the 52nd Infantry Division, the Talakana Division from the Republican Guards, the 10th Infantry Division, and 2 or 3 other divisions. Left after that war, went back, was assigned to the 4th Brigade, 1st Armored Division, and became the Assistant Brigade 2. Then the Brigade 2 was involved in preparations for Bosnia, for Sarajevo, for Rwanda, but didn't go to either of those. Then went back to the advanced course. From the advanced course, I was sent off to teach reserve officer training program at Iowa State University, an engineering school. Spent 2 years there. From there, went to the counterintelligence officers course. Then I was assigned as counterintelligence commander in Vicenza, Italy, where I was in charge of the counterintelligence unit there. And while I was there, deployed to Bosnia and with the 1st Armored Division, which I was no longer part of. And then from there, came back, went to the Defense Language Institute, where I learned French, and then went to Tunisia, working at the U.S. Embassy, but I was also a student at the Tunisian L'École d'État-Major, the Staff College. And after that, I traveled throughout Africa during that time frame. After that, I was sent back to my intelligence career path. Went to the National Security Agency, where I started out as a requirements officer and eventually became a chief of staff of a $3 billion acquisition program. And then I traveled the world promoting a program and right-sizing top secret programs for intelligence and working with our allies. And then from there, I managed to get myself redesignated back as a foreign area officer, assigned to the Defense Intelligence Agency for Sub-Saharan Africa, and then became the analyst for Southern Africa, then the branch chief for Southern Africa, then the branch chief for Southern and Central Africa, then the deputy division chief for all of Africa, and wrote for the President of the United States multiple times, wrote 1,200 intelligence products in my just under 3 years, 34 months I was there. I left after 34 months working at the Bolling Air Force Base and the Pentagon, in the basement of the Pentagon. And then I went to Liberia, where I rebuilt the Armed Forces Library with a team of about 750 people working for me, $254 million program. From Liberia, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Kosovo. That was when I was in Italy. I also did Kosovo. I forgot about that. And then while I was in Tunisia, I was also involved in another Operation Enduring Freedom. And then after Liberia, I went to Botswana, where I was the security cooperation chief. And from Botswana, I had Malawi. And then after that, I went to the attaché course, and I was supposed to go to Chad as defense attaché, but I got diverted to Stuttgart instead because they were short foreign area officers for Africa. So I went to Stuttgart, and I was the division chief, but quickly became the deputy division chief. And then the senior Africa analyst and foreign area officer for the Africa Command as lieutenant colonel. I later went and established the Security Cooperation Office in Niamey, Niger. I set that up and was stationed there. From there, I was stationed in Mauritania, where I did the same thing, setting up Security Cooperation Office in Mauritania From Mauritania, I was then sent to Uganda, where I took over an existing security cooperation office, trained peacekeepers for Somalia, trained the Somali National Force, was the paymaster. I'm the person that paid the people in the Somali National Force because the U.S. government was paying for that. Ran HIV programs in all these places. From Uganda, I was sent early, leaving my tour early because I got promoted to full colonel, and I went to Ethiopia to work U.S. mission to the African Union, where I was a senior military advisor and played a role in the Ebola outbreak, as well as African peacekeeping initiatives and many other things while I was there. And then from there, I was sent to the Army War College, where I was director of African Studies, and I wrapped up my career at the Army War College. Oh, Xavier Grayling, I've just scratched the surface. Those are just the jobs. I didn't tell you the stuff I did. I mean, when I read to you my CV from when I was at one of these positions, I'll pull it up in a second. Okay, I totally agree with you, Colonel. Okay, cheaper cornflakes for us, yep. Companies are making losses because they aren't getting sales. Okay. Will there be a test? Yes, there will be a test, Auxilla. With a little bump, I climbed in a rattle tank. They were washing it and left it dry. Finished studying security, interested in the intelligence field. What would you say is the best way to get in? So I think, Gavin, the key to being good at intelligence is to be discerning, if you understand what I mean by that. You have to, in some ways, judge things and analyze things. You have to have that ability. I dealt with a lot of people who were terrible intelligence analysts. They were just cut and paste people. They didn't have critical thinking skills, and they would just go with the flow. You can't do that as an intelligence professional. You have to think outside the box. You have to put yourself in the mind of the opponent, and you have to think of what the opponent's going to do. And then you have to know everything about yourself and the vulnerabilities you're facing. Whether you work in the nuclear energy security, or you work in cybersecurity, or you work in counterintelligence, or you just work in straight intelligence. So it takes a certain skill set. Many people don't have it yet. They get paid to do it, which is pathetic. But it's a very interesting field. So anyway, finished studying security. But what do you mean by security? Did you learn about physical security or national security? I mean, there's all kinds of security. Oh, okay, what else? Better to buy a laptop or take one with? But what are we talking about, Lolita? You talking about buy a laptop from where, when? You talking about, are you coming to America tomorrow or something and you need to know whether you should buy a laptop in South Africa? Don't buy one in South Africa. You can get a better laptop for a third of the price in America. Yep. Well, Paul, it depends. I'll be in England for the next month, and so I don't know. I might go to Hastings. I doubt it. I might go to some famous battle sites while I'm in the UK if there's time, and I'll probably film something there. Son wants to be a Navy SEAL. Well, there are very high standards to be a Navy SEAL. Are you part of the intelligence apparatus? I was for decades. You're welcome, Olivia. How do I get in South Africa? Yeah, so for instance, the laptop that I have is pretty recent one, and I think it only costs like $500 or $600. I mean, you can get a very good laptop now for $500 or $600. That's not the top end gaming laptops, but it's also not a run of the mill average laptop. It's one with plenty of gigs of RAM, solid state hard drive, great graphics, Windows 11, all that stuff for about $500 or so. Now, prices are going to go up because of the tariffs in the next 90 days. So if you're here in the next 90 days, go get yourself a laptop and get here. So I purchased the laptop I have now because my old one was driving me nuts. It was so slow. I don't know what's going on, but I bought a new laptop on November 8th because Trump got elected on November 5th, and he promised to implement tariffs when he became president. So I figured, let me get them now before they start raising the prices, and I was smart. Security studies involved intelligence, national security. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Blue teaming, red team. All right. Well, good. Blue teaming, red teaming, counterintelligence is a good field for that. So that's not the only good field, but there's one good one. So there's lots of ways. Gavin, are you in the U.S. or are you somewhere else? So let me pull up that my CV, and I'm going to read to you because you guys were asking about this. So where's it at? There it is. Employment. Okay. I'm going to read to you just one of my sections. Okay, I'm not boasting, but okay, so honors and awards. Distinguished Military Service Order, Gold, Republic of Liberia, February 2022. Meritorious Honor Award, U.S. Department of State, April 2014. President's Daily Brief, Author Recognition, 4 decorations. Office of National Director of National Intelligence, November 2005. March 2006, October 2006, February 2007. Director's Annual Agency Team Award, Defense Intelligence Agency, November 16, 2016. State of Hesse President's Community Contribution Award, 1994. Distinguished Military Graduate, Ohio University, 1989. Now let me just go and find this one job, okay? So, okay, let me make this a little bit larger because it's a lot of text there. All right, Senior Military Advisor, U.S. Mission to the African Union, Addis Ababa. Served as Ambassador's Principal Military Advisor and represented the U.S. Ambassador at the African Union and abroad, and as U.S. Africa Command Liaison Officer to the African Union. Coordinated all security assistance and security cooperation with the African Union, including counterterrorism fellowship training program, invitational travel, foreign military financing, Africa contingency operations training and assistance program, gender-based programs, and Section 1206 counterterrorism. Reported on all peace and security programs, developments, and peace support operations, including the African Union Mission in Somalia, AMISOM, the African Union Mission to the Central African Republic, Mission Internationale de Soutien à la Centrafrique sous Conduite Africaine, MISCA, and the African Union Mission support mission to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, ASWOA. Liaised with the African Union Military Attaché Community, 46 countries. Worked directly with the African Union Peace and Security Council, PSC, the Peace Support Operations Division, PSOD, and the AMISOM Military Operations Coordination Committee, MOC. Developed programs to support gender integration, security sector reform, disarmament, demobilization, reintegration programs, military exercises, counterterrorism, coordination with NATO and African Union Peace Support Structure, the African Standby Force, ASF, and the African Capacity for Immediate Response to Crises, ACIRC. That's one job. And that's not all I did. That's just the highlights. It's just the highlights. Elaine, yeah, I do have a fair number of SADF veterans and a few SANDF veterans as well amongst my viewers. Hopefully not the intelligence apparatus that turned against Trump. No, why would I turn against Trump? I didn't turn against any president. That's treason. Whether I like them or not, I follow lawful orders. Nadia Willis, good morning to you. My analysis on the Daily Maverick breaking news was excellent. Well, thank you, Marius. I do that all the time. A career spanning 2 disciplines in only 25 years. Funny, I always hear placement agents fall off their chairs when they receive my 24-page. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So here, let me just give you a sampling of what I put at the end of this. And I don't even bother to update this anymore, but so I added this because people were asking, have you done anything? Do you give any speeches? So guest speaking. Okay. So languages, then published works, expanding U.S. military command in African elites, networks, grand strategy, Stellenbosch University, closer look at the new U.S. strategy for Africa, the U.S. Army War College War Room, Botswana's Gripen Plan highlights need for defense white paper, defense web, building partner capacity in Africa, keys to success. That all just goes back to 2020. I haven't even updated that section since 2020. I've been published repeatedly since then. No books, but articles. Guest speaking engagements. Big leap over fossil fuels, renewables in the developing world. Panel member 16th Annual American Renewable Energy Day Conference in Aspen, Colorado. Current state of U.S. Africa trade. Guest speaker, Trade with Africa Summit, Chicago, Illinois. Repatriating ISIS fighters and family members. Guest speaker, London. China in Africa Energy. Guest speaker, Canada-Africa Network Conference, Vancouver. The new AFL, Reflections and Expectations. Guest speaker, Liberian Studies Association, 51st Annual Conference, Concordia University, Chicago, Illinois. U.S. Military Engagement in Africa and U.S. Policy in Africa. Visiting Professor, Armed Forces, Mauritania Staff College, Nouakchott. China in Africa Energy. Guest speaker for the 11th Annual Energy Africa Conference, Denver, Colorado. G5 Sahel Defense College, Visiting Professor, U.S. Foreign Policy in Africa, U.S. Military Policy in Africa, U.S. Africa Command, Nouakchott, Mauritania. South Africa's Fragile Democracy, guest speaker for the Foreign Policy Association's Great Decisions Speaker Series, U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center. That's one many of you have seen the video of. U.S. Army African Alumni Association, panel member, building partner capacity, facilitator, next generation of African leaders, violent extremist organizations in Africa, and building partner capacity. Joint Special Operations University, adjunct professor, interministerial executive collaboration course, Monrovia, Liberia. 101st Airborne Division, 1st Brigade Combat Team, guest speaker for Regional Allied Force Africa Familiarization Training, Fort Campbell. 101st Airborne Division Sustainment Brigade, guest speaker for regionally aligned Force Africa Familiarization Training. African Lion 2016 Cedar Leader Seminar, presenter and panel member for the International Security Cooperation in the Sahel Maghreb. Agadir, Morocco. U.S. Naval War College Regional Alumni Symposium, panel member, capacity building in Africa, Newport, Rhode Island. Those are just a handful of some of the speaking engagements I've done. And then I did all these Army War College podcasts. The Armed Forces Library Today, War Room. Forecasting the 2019 South African elections, War Room. The complex political landscape in Nigeria, War Room. The strange bloodless coup in Zimbabwe 6 months later, War Room. What is the state of U.S. relations with Africa, War Room. South Africa's election and the maturing of democracy, War Room. The strange bloodless coup in Zimbabwe 6 months later. I did it a second time, but it wasn't really 6 months later. I should have got rid of the 6 months later. Okay. Yep. Anyway. Hold on. Were you involved in the 2008 AU Summit? Not 2008. No, I was at AU Summit in 2013, 2014, something like that. It's Friday and Trump is still our president. Yep. Kathy. Sequel to Another Day. Okay. What day is coming on? It's scary that, geez, out of Gen Z doing so many things in one job. Okay. See what you did. Did you see what I did in WhatsApp? Approximately 4:20 my time today about the grades being vandalized. I didn't see that, Rudolph. Any cool dinosaur venues? My kids shocked us with paleontology aspirations. Paleontology is cool. Doesn't pay much, but yep. And then decorations. So Legion of Merit, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, 6 decorations. Meritorious Service Medal, 2. Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, 8 decorations. Joint Service Achievement Medal. It's actually 9. You get the ribbon and each of these actually one more than I say. Joint Service Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 5. Good Conduct Medal, National Service Defense Medal, 2. Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Southwest Asia Service Medal, 3 stars. Kosovo Campaign Medal, Global War and Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, Armed Forces Services Medal, Army Service Medal, Overseas Ribbon, 10. NATO Medal, Bosnia, Saudi Arabian, Kuwaiti Liberation Medal, Kuwaiti Liberation Medal, Air Assault Badge, Joint Meritorious Unit Award, National Security Agency, the second one at Defense Intelligence Agency, third one at U.S. Africa Command, Valorous Unit Award, 3rd Battalion, 8th Cavalry, Gulf War. So, people ask, so there you go. So, Transvaal Regiment. Okay, Eli, that's interesting. What will President Trump give us today? The surprise today won't be about South Africa. It'll be about Russia. West Coast, that is why you're trusted by Afrikaners. You live the truth. You don't take punches. Oh, I land punches every day. But yeah, I can take the punches, but I land them every day. What's your prediction of Springboks Australia? Springboks win by 2 tries at least. Yep. What's with the National Guard in D.C.? What do you mean, what's with the National Guard? What kind of question is that? They have 3,800 members. They live and work in Washington, D.C. I've told this story of how I injured the hip. I was going to physical training in the morning around 5:30 in Germany after I moved off the base. And I went around a curve and hit black ice on a bicycle, and I was going pretty fast. The bike skidded across the street, and I went straight. The bike went this way, and I went this way, and I landed right on that hip on pavement, on the blacktop, and I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. And it was 5:30 in the morning. Road was cold, icy. I had to pull myself, my upper body, off the street. The bike went on the sidewalk on the other side. It popped up. So I sat there for a few minutes, rubbed my leg, my hip, because I couldn't feel anything over there. And finally I got some feeling in it, and I was able to get up, limp across the street, pick up my bicycle. No damage to the bike, thanks, because it slid across the ice. And then walked into the installation, which was about 200 meters away. It was 5:30 when that happened. We had physical training at about 6:30, so I had time to stretch and get loose, and then I exercised that day. And it just knocked something out of kilter, and over the years, it's just worn down over time. When I retired from the military, the Veterans Administration gave me disability settlement on that 10%, which doesn't mean it's not much money, but it is documented. So it's just worn out. The labrum is torn, I think, and it's bone grinding on bone. So it's very painful. Any further word whether Amerikaners have been contacted to assist? I answered that question, Marcel. I've given the link to that video. It's a short. Not much more I can say about it other than what I said in the video I did last night, the live. How many people watched that, by the way? I haven't even looked. Okay, so that has had 15,000 views. That's cool. Yeah, it had 3,000. Yeah, when I did 3,000 the first hour, yep. But 15,318 views now. 319, someone else just watched it. Give me a second here. Yeah, so that video talks about everything. That's a review of the Daily Maverick article by Rebecca Davis. But I did a short talking about the Americana specifically. Here's the link to it. Rather than reiterate all that for everybody here, I just ask you to go watch that video. Basically, the answer is it appears it's true, but there are some caveats to it, okay? Do you think Putin is trigger happy? Not with nuclear, no, I don't think so. I think he's trigger happy, but not with nuclear. With the ANC flee to New York, they're going to flee somewhere. They're not going to like life in Tehran, trust me. Yeah, box by 8 points. Yeah, I think by 2 tries. No, I'm not watching Drekus. I don't care for boxing or ultimate fighting, whatever this stuff's called. I think I told you guys I was in Vegas a few years back for the rugby, for the Sevens tournament, and I was going through the MGM Grand. I was going to a Brad Garrett comedy show. I got the tickets really cheap. I mean, they were like expensive. They're like $175 for a ticket. I think I paid like $60 because they gave a huge discount for military, which I was really grateful for. I'm still active duty then. It's 2017 or 2018. I forget what it was. Anyway, I'm walking through there, and they had the stanchions, the little stands with the cords that run between it. And I got kind of funneled going through the MGM Grand. I was trying to get to the back to the little comedy club back there by all the restaurants and everything. And I wound up in a funnel. I'm walking, okay, like getting over Las Vegas. And I turn, and there's like a big like tent inside the MGM Grand, and there's people sitting up there, and they're like, dressed in boxing clothes, I'm like, what the hell is this? I said, what's this? Oh, this is was it MMA or whatever, or UFC. I'm like, what? Yeah, no, big matches come up. The guys are here signing autographs. I'm like, okay, I didn't come for that. I'm just trying to get through the hotel to get to the comedy show. I'll see you later. And I left. Okay. There you go, Colonel. Tough Oaks not realizing the consequence of injury we get up dust. No, I realized the consequence of injury, and I told the Army about it many years ago, and I asked them to do something, and then I spent much of the last 20 years in uniform in Africa, and so I didn't have proper care there. I mean, I never saw doctors there, and it's amazing I have good blood pressure and decent cholesterol, and I'm in good health, given how poor. But I took care of myself. I didn't carouse, I didn't drink, didn't smoke, don't do drugs, exercised. Now, I don't have the best diet. I eat junk food. I eat sugar like a 6-year-old. Yeah. But I mean, the rest of it, took care of myself. B-52 tail gunner came back, shot to pieces, stayed in the VA hospital, had a brain malfunction. Oof. That's crazy. Midbar Call, okay. Brother-in-law also had a hip accident after multiple operations, cleaning and training. In the end, he said he should have done the replacement from the start. Yeah, I'm not going to have the scraping done. I'll get the injection. If the injection works, great, and then I'll do that as long as I can get away with it. Yep. Imagine your name. Okay, I don't know if that's going to happen to. I hope Drekus wins, but it sounds, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about that fight. Funny how ANC calls us refugee cowards when they all took flight. Exactly. They all fled the country, and they had no reason to fly. The government wasn't murdering civilians. The government, so they fled. They ran off, and where did they go? Oxford, Moscow, Cambridge, New York, Bonn, Paris, Beijing, Peking at the time. Yeah, they are the cowards. And it's funny to hear them, show problems. South Africans don't run abroad for help with their problems. Really? That's what the hell you turds did for 30 years. You went to Vietnam, learned how to murder people and necklace them and create a civil war. You went to these other countries to get sympathy, to put sanctions to end apartheid. You don't go overseas to get help? That's bullshit. You're just talking out your backside there, ANC. They're such unbelievable hypocrites, such bold-faced liars. They just lie to people's faces. Yep. Lolita, they're so full of themselves. With the injection, you have to go every few months. Expat, family Joubert, I was told 4 to 6 months. That's what the chiropractor who gets injections in his knee told me. That's what my research indicates. And if I can get 4 to 6 months of pain relief, then I'll rest up the other month or so. Take it easy, go get the injection, and do every 4 to 6 months. So we'll see. We'll see. They're a little too eager to cut into my leg and remove part of my body and stick some plastic in there. Can't find the country exile anywhere. No idea what you're joking about there. Yep. So, do you know expat Joubert? Have you had the injection? Anyway, one of my viewers told me what the injection was, and I thought I printed it out, and now I can't find it. That sucks. What that thing was called. The guy who is a pharmacist. Are you here tonight? Military pharmacist. Are you here tonight? Because I thought I saved that, and the damn thing is not here. I'm so pissed off at myself because I canceled that text file. I had to reboot my computer. Bucks are playing at 5 p.m. on Saturday. I don't care if it's BPA free. Loretta says injection works well. No, I haven't seen any announcement of the team for that. Thank you, Hannes. There it is. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't find the damn thing. Yeah, but you said something else too. Surplus, and yeah, okay. It's okay, Marcel. The problem is that YouTube hides my content. So, soup. Las. Sin. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, 4 months, okay. Everyone always has to say when Dricus is fighting. Yep. Yeah, no, he's great. Who did I interview? Was it Dricus? Somebody I interviewed on this channel, or was it in 2020? One of the boxers. I thought it was Duplessis. Let's see. Nope, that's JP. It wasn't Dricus. I did some South African boxer on this channel. Who did I, or a mixed martial arts guy? I did some guy on the channel a long time ago. Yeah, I had cortisone in my bursa sac. That hurt like a mother. No, he's a mixed martial arts guy. It's all the same to me, Pablo, Charlie. I already told you I don't watch this stuff. I find it boring. People kicking each other in the face. I can watch the riots and the Black Lives Matter attacks on TV. Or the college students from black universities on spring break in Florida. Mixing it up. I don't need to watch mixed martial arts or UFC Ultimate Fighter Championship, any of that stuff. Oh, it can't, got you. The country is exile. Got you. Like I mentioned the other night, deja vu, the injections work well until they don't. In fact, a friend of mine who's much older than me has had 2 hip replacements. He's a veteran. And he said, I told him, I said, they want to replace my hip. And he said, oh, when it's time, you'll know. Wow, 18 months, that's a pretty good long stretch. Imagine all those hip replacements and toxins leaching in the liver. It's like, thank you, Holden Caulfield. Alien things inside your body, not interested. No, hip replacement doesn't limit your mobility cycling. The problem is my mobility is limited already. That's the problem. I can't, because of the calcium buildup and the chips and that stuff. I don't have a range of motion. I can't bend fully down to that foot to tie my shoe properly. I have to tilt my leg sideways. I can still do this side to side like that, but I can't move my leg out like that. This leg here, like that. This one, like that. Yep, both come all the way up. I have no problem bending them up. Yep. Testosterone replacement therapy for your injury. Are you saying I'm not man enough, Marcel? Are you saying I'm not man enough? Yes, Hannes, that's what I'm talking about. That's the injection. They use ultrasound so they can look at where the needle goes in to put the stuff in. That's what I'm talking about. Yep, that's the stuff, Hannes. Yeah, thank you. I had saved that in a text file, everything you said in the chat, and then the damn thing disappeared. I had to reboot my computer. We had a massive freaking lightning storm here yesterday, and I had to turn my computer off and had all these text files open, and when I closed it, so anyway, I thought I printed it out, but apparently I didn't. Injection on my knee cost $3,000. Other didn't help at all. 100% hit replace and working fine. Susara. Okay, so Suhara Fun Fienheisen. Good Lord, that's an unusual name. My chiropractor did acupuncture needles in my shoulder. Okay. Spinal infusion. Oh, gosh, man. I always think you're all falling apart, man. People falling apart left and right. Well, we're still growing ever so slowly on the channel, folks. Ever so slowly. 111,066 viewers, subscribers. WD-40. Yeah, that's why I need some WD-40. I didn't know you guys knew what WD-40 was. Yeah, slow process. Let's see, the last 28 days, I was at 108,000. So in a month, we've gained not quite 3,000, 2,500. Oof, that's a big drop off. Yeah, let me look at 2025. Let's see how it was. Big jump. Yeah, actually, it looks more gradual if you look at it on the year screen. Here you go. Looks more gradual. So there you go. So here we go back to January, 20,695, January 2nd. January 1st, 20,533. And then it started growing at the end of January. Yeah. And so February 7th was here. I got 12,000. That was a big jump up to 32,000. And then the executive orders announced. And then 44, 45, 50. So I hit 50. I wasn't sure I'd ever hit 50. I hit that on February 26th. I hit 50,000. And then I got to South Africa on April 11th, April 12th, 75,000. And I came back in May, so May 17th, May 19th, something like that. Yeah, so I gained about 15,000, better than I thought. And then we got here, we hit 100,000 on June 4th, 100,000. And then we've gained 11,000 since June 4th, July 4th, August 4th. So 2 months and 10 days, we've gotten 4,000. Yep. A man loses 1% a year after 35 testosterone helps man heal and grow. No, Andrew, I've not had my testosterone measured. The whole report is pertinent to South Africa, Chief Wethu. The whole report is, but there are certain portions that I recommend that refugee aspirants become familiar with to state your case about your fear of future persecution. Matt Canai remembers me at 5,000. Yeah, Matt, I remember when I was at 23,000 on the old channel, and then came back, this one had 0. So, the executive summary on page 1, I recommend that you become familiar with that. I recommend you become familiar with the extrajudicial killings in Section A. It starts on page 1, but the meat and potatoes of it is on Section 2, page 2. It's page 1, page 2. And then physical attacks, imprisonment, and pressure starts on page 4. That's here, page 4. And continues on page 5 and ends there. The workers' rights, you don't need to read any of that. That's page 5, 6, 7. Page 8, don't need that. Page 9, you don't need that. Page 10, you don't need that. 11. All right, we jump to page 12. Page 12, you don't need that. Okay, the bottom page 12, you have prolonged detention without charges. That's what you need to start with. Page 12, the bottom. And then the whole next page is relevant to refugees. All of this applies to refugees. Page 12. Page 13. Page 13. Sorry. Page 13. Then on page 14, the top of the page continues that portion. And then down here at the bottom is torture, cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment, punishment. That applies here. Bottom of page 14. Top and bottom. Page 15, the entire page applies. The entire page applies to those aspiring to be refugees. This is an important page. See the red? Very important page. Page 16, not so much. 17, not so much. 18, not so much. Page 19, this is about Jews being discriminated against, anti-Semitism, but it creates a climate against religious minorities and against minorities in general. People who look different. Jews tend to look white for most people, and they're singled out. So I would say that page 19 is relevant. If they do this to Jews, what are they going to do to Afrikaners? What are they going to do to coloreds? What are they going to do to Indians? Indians are not Christians. Most of them aren't anyway. They're Hindu, and that's a minority. And so what are they going to do to them? So there you go. There are 21 pages. That's correct. 21 pages. Yep. So does that answer your question? Even if I want the hip replacement, I couldn't possibly get it done before January at the earliest. Tony, I've put the link in the videos. Irrelevant. Obviously, you're not watching the videos. I've said this in the videos over and over again. Go to last night's video. You'll find the link there. So let me go find it. You guys really, I mean, you got it's not hard to do a little bit of work, guys. You got to do some work here. I mean, it's not. Okay, big surprises. Explosive report ahead. Trump admin. Okay. There's a report. You guys like really, some of you really want me to hold your hand, man. That's not fair. There you go. What I'm suggesting is that this report forms a basis to make a legitimate argument if you're asked a question, do you fear for your future safety? Yes, based on what you read in this report. Look at what they've done. Homeopathic injections in her back for cartilage damage. She was free. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, Amanda. It's disappointing that no mention was made to unjust racial persecution in the form of employment equity. Yeah, I mentioned that. I didn't write the report. Is this Professor G's dossier refugee document? No. What are you talking about, Bevan Amsterdam? No. I don't distribute things that Professor G puts out. He doesn't distribute things I put out. The document in question is the Human Rights Report in South Africa, which is freely available to the public, the unclassified version, on their State Department website. But I've saved the trouble finding it because it's not easy to find. Chris and crew, have a great day. Some of us car guards need to check in. All right, Krista, take care. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the one thing I provided people was the document for the questions that Hendo went to the trouble to put together, things you could be asked in an interview. No guarantee you will be asked them. Some people said they weren't asked some of the things there, but we put a template together. So this is the template we put together back in February. Hendo put it together to start off with, and I edited it, and so this is it here. Disclaimer, the following document is a courtesy offering compiled by one of my moderators to assist folks who may be interested in the U.S. refugee resettlement offer. Neither my moderator or I work for, nor are we affiliated in any way with the U.S. government. The purpose of these crib sheets is to assist you in compiling for your own use data which an interview is likely to ask you when you sit down for a refugee resettlement interview to relocate to the USA. This list may not be all-inclusive of the things you may be asked. Remember that the interviewer has a responsibility to ensure that only qualified applicants who present no threat to Americans are allowed to enter the USA. We make no promises nor suggest the form helps you with your application. The line of questioning is one shared by a source who went for a second preliminary interview during the State Department's March 2025 fact-finding effort in South Africa. So, here are questions: your full name, your date of birth, your place of birth, your address, phone number, email, highest level of education, phone numbers, private work numbers you've used over the last 5 years, email addresses, personal and professional, international travel history, family details, family in the USA if you have any. That's the first person. Second, third person's details, group affiliations, residential history, work history, medical issues, criminal record, fingerprinting history, reason for seeking refuge, preferred U.S. location, social media accounts, supporting documents, checklist, stamp passports, additional documents, family details, membership proof organizations, work residential history proof, medical records, criminal record, signed indemnity form, and prepared by. Okay, so that's the 7-page list of questions we put together you could be asked. Okay, Hendo did most of the legwork on that, and that we made available since February. It's in many different places. We put it in the best place to find it is in the Telegram group because that doesn't limit our people. I read that Germany developed a gel they inject into joints that simulate cartilage growth. They're busy with trials. Well, that'd be great. Well, that's a good reason, Russell, for me to hold off on getting the thing cut out of my body and a piece of plastic stuffed in there, is to wait and see if it'll grow back. That'd be cool. Professor G is asking $50. I was unaware of that. Pratley products. I have no idea what Pratley is. I know what Lipton is. Complete the document from you and moderator is very helpful to keep information in hand. Yep, it is. Tony says, I saw that video, would like to get that, but unfortunately I don't have that kind of money for that. Okay. Now is the time we take time and thoroughly prepare. We must learn, be over-prepared. Yep. Professor G has compiled a file of various documents useful for applicants and is offering this at $50. Okay. It's documented proof, not about finding reasons. We have our personal experiences, but it's just documented proof. I'm not sure what you're getting at, Andrew. You don't have to have documented proof. You have to articulate. You don't have to prove. Articulation is not the same as proving. Any idea if you might be able to interview Leon Ferrisfeld sometime in general info on about how much? Again, and who is Leon Ferrisfeld? The name is mentioned a couple times. I don't really follow this story. Oh, no, we don't have that glue. I might have said, I'm not on the Telegram. Is it possible to guide me through your questions you and Hendo put together? I just did, Francis. That's what I just did. I just did that. You're obviously not watching the program live. I just did that. That is exactly what I just put on the screen 2 minutes ago. Giving reasons means prove, and none of us are expected to provide proof. No, you have to articulate. You have to articulate if you've been a victim of past racial persecution or you have a legitimate fear of future persecution. I can articulate a case and I'm not even Afrikaner. Where can you find it? In the Telegram group. I can't post it here. You can't put documents here. It's not posted online. So I can put it in the Telegram group. If you're in the Refugee group, I can put it in the Refugee group again. So I will go ahead and put that in the Refugee group and the Telegram groups right now once again so that people can find it. Okay? Although I've got to open up WhatsApp and Telegram because apparently they closed when I went away for the veterans thing. I forgot that I closed them. I have to close them, otherwise they wake up my computer when I want it to be asleep. Okay. So U.S. Refugee Missions Program. Document. It's on my desktop, just so I got it. I need to make sure I take it with me this time, too, because I know people are going to ask for it. There it is. Okay. And then I send it to the other U.S. Refugee Missions Program. Okay. Okay, document. If you're not in these groups, not much more I can do for you. The Telegram group has 3,000 people. So, the South African government can pretend that there's no interest in this program. I have 3,135 members in that group. And then I have 1,000 in the other group, 1,000. I have over 5,000 people that are following this channel that are following the developments that I post. 5,000 just for that I know are just for the refugee program. So it's all in those places now. So that's where you have to go. Okay? You're welcome. I don't mean any disrespect. I just think that anything that strengthens the case is just cherry on the cake. I'm not disagreeing, Andrew. We're trying to be clear about the language here. Does it do any harm if one has a lot of proof anyway? No. Why would it do any harm? If you have proof, that's all the better. If you can prove something, that's great. I mean, if I have here, well, that's not going to be good. If I have here an email from a company that refused to employ me because I can't hire you because we'll exceed our BE quota for white men. We'll exceed our BE quota for whites. That's proof. Okay? Exactly, Chugsy. Articulate means to speak clearly. How do I join the group? Well, you can't join the WhatsApp groups because they're full, and we have a waiting list. So you can get on the waiting list, but you're just going to be sitting there until people leave. The Telegram group, there's no wait. I can have 120,000 people in Telegram, but only 1,025 or 1,024 in the WhatsApp. That's why I hate WhatsApp. Members, okay, come on. What am I looking for here? I want to get people to join. Oh, here we go. Members. Add. Right, via link. Copy link. Okay, this is the Telegram link if you're in Telegram. So if you want to join the Telegram group, that's where. This wasn't supposed to be a refugee conversation, but y'all turned it into refugee conversation. And then you all just piss off in foot and leave me hanging here with 10 viewers when it's all over. All I'll have is the OGs. You'll all be gone. Oh, we love you. We love you. And then you all go about your lives, which is fine. Do what you got to do. Alan, I agree. You don't have to be coached for an interview. If you're coached and you're just parroting things out, then it's not genuine. Folks, I was reticent to do the checklist, but oh my God, the complaining, the moaning about it, what do we do? And the thousands of questions I had to answer because people just, instead of just, ignoring people, I'm far too generous and lenient. Instead of just ignoring them, I tried to help. Anyway, so yeah, just tell your story. If you're genuine and honest, it's going to come out. Now, let me share something else, okay? All right. So if you are... Okay, so don't everybody run off of me, okay? Men, women especially, if this has happened to you, don't freak out and leave, okay? I'm not doing this to raise trauma. Please just listen, okay? All right, this is important. Yeah, I know, Sumeri, I got you. A lot of people are tired of it. Okay. All right, so just listen. If something horrific has happened to you because of racism, sexually, you were targeted because of your race. If you're in a situation where no one knows about this but you, and it's something that would fracture your family, something that would do irreversible harm potentially if your family knew that this had happened to you, and you've been carrying this yourself. I have frequently said on my program that you must be honest. An act of omission is an act of commission. But make no mistake, what I'm talking about is not you being forced to relive your trauma in front of loved ones in an interview on something they never knew about. It's not what I'm talking about. Not what I'm talking about. The purpose of the interviews are not to put people through trauma. The purpose of the interviews are not to reveal things that you don't want to be revealed that are deeply personal because they're traumatic and could be harmful to your family. The purpose of the interview is to determine your eligibility. Most people will be able to articulate a past experience or past experiences or a genuine fear that something will happen to you in the future without reliving that sort of trauma. All right? If, however, you go into a refugee interview and you've been arrested and prosecuted and convicted of a crime, and you're asked questions about if you've ever been charged with a crime, and you lie or you neglect to mention, if they don't ask you about it and you neglect to mention it, well, that is an act of omission. That is something that could go badly for you. But no one can or would punish you for not revealing something, particularly in an environment where you're with family members and it's not something that you can freely discuss. Is everybody straight with me here? Is that clear? Is that clear? I don't want people to harm their relationship with their loved ones, with their family. And I don't want people to misunderstand, okay? Now, sadly, this is a story that many women here, at least a few women, understand and relate to, okay? So I also know it happens to men. So I'm speaking to all of you. But to the ladies, okay? All right? Okay. All right. I'm sorry to bring the topic up, but it's important, okay? It's important. I appreciate this. As a interviewer, as a counterintelligence official, it is not something, and besides, if something like this, as an interviewer, as a law enforcement official who's done interrogations and done interviews, most are astute enough to pick up on this. Most people who do this are why. Jack, are you here? Is Jax here? Jax deals with this trauma that happens to children. Most people who do this are astute enough to pick up on this. You're not being interviewed by the Kenyans. You're not being interviewed by them. You're being interviewed by Americans who do this. Hopefully the ones who do it for a living, unless they've had to augment the team with other people who are less experienced. So in an interview, and I've been in this interview, I've interviewed people in the past, and it's patently obvious to me that something traumatic has happened to them, inappropriate sexually, when I've interviewed them with another person present. I put a pin in it. I don't probe. I find an appropriate way to talk to that person without drawing attention and tell them if they feel the need to share this because it's relevant, you can share it with me. We can speak privately. All right? Okay. I think that's enough of that. Yes, Andrew, I think that's probably something. But then if your family doesn't know about it, then that's a dead giveaway. I mean, so like tonight, this was interesting. So tonight, after the veterans meeting, the bartender on duty asked me something, and I mistakenly thought she was doing a little trick that I do. In order not to embarrass people, oftentimes, I'll give a little secret away here. Oftentimes, I'll come to someone and say, hey, listen, you know about this, that, and the other. Someone wanted me to ask you about that. You got a few seconds? Show me what's going on. I need to understand how to work this thing or something like that. So she said to me, hey, there's a problem with the CO2, the carbon dioxide. We're having a problem with the keg. I said, oh, okay. She said, can I show it to you? Well, I don't know how to fix that. I'm not a bartender, but I guess she assumed I might know. So she took me to the back, to the liquor room where the carbon dioxide is stored at. And as we got behind the door, away from the patrons where people couldn't hear us, I said, okay, so what did you want to talk about? Is something wrong? No, I wanted to show you the CO2. I said, oh, you really wanted to show me the CO2? I thought you just wanted to get my attention to tell me about somebody misbehaving in the bar and you needed my help. Okay? You guys tracking with me here? You tracking with me? So I felt a little foolish because I thought she just wanted to tell me something, but it was actually messed up. The CO2 is frozen. It has ice on it and the lines are frozen and the CO2 is not coming out. So that's what it was really about. I thought she wanted to tell me something. Oh my goodness. I had to have a knee replaced and got it clean instead, pain-free. Wow, that's awesome, Pat. That's awesome. So they did a scope on you. That's pretty cool. A scope won't work here. All right, Karen, that's good to hear somebody got the call. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anyway, so I thought she wanted to tell me about somebody who was giving her a hard time as a bartender, hey, that guy over there has been a jerk, So tonight, one of my volunteers at the elections, she dyed her hair bleachy blonde. She came in with a very appealing halter top. Let's just leave it at that. Lovely young lady. She used to be a restaurant owner. Dad gave her a restaurant. She ran it for a while. Now she's doing something else. But very lovely lady. She came in. I was sitting talking to one of my veterans at the bar after the meeting, and she was signing in as a guest. And she goes, hey. And I said, hi. And she's like, you don't recognize me, do you? I'm like, of course I recognize. She was a volunteer, helped with all kinds of stuff. She's a fantastic young lady. Yeah. So afterwards, I walked over and I said hello to her and talked to her a little bit. So. Don't stress. I'm sure most of us will stay with you on your channel even when you leave safely. Alley Cat, you're way behind. We're past that conversation. It's funny where people jump in the conversation and they're so far behind. Interesting. Missed many live broadcasts, but have tried to stay up to date when I get a chance. So ready to move on. Just waiting for that call. Okay, Nikki. Okay, moving swiftly along. Thank you for the coverage on the SANDF general commitment to military support to Iran. I call rebuke all BS. Methinks the visit and reaction is scripted. I think you may be right about that, but this person should be court-martialed and cashiered and kicked out of the military. While we're at it, Fikeni Mabalula should have a South African human rights complaint filed against him. Not all leave. I watch and follow you regularly. Thank you. Don't join the chats. Hey, Garas. Always here. You're the beacon in the worst storm. Thank you for all you do. You're very welcome, Garas. Maddie has to get back to work. Had a long butt coffee break. Thanks for live. You're welcome. Okay. Sue Marie is overthinking. A lot of people overthink, folks. A lot of Afrikaners love to overthink, man. Oh my goodness. The crazy things that some Afrikaners come up with just makes me scratch my head. My late granny started drinking Poseidon because she had arthritis, and most of that went away after prolonged drinking. It's grapeseed extract. Never heard of that. But that's not going to fix my problem. The arthritis is, but the arthritis is there because of the injury. But the injury isn't healing. It's not going to heal. So, Poseidon. Okay. Why do I always drink Frappuccinos? Because I need something to drink, Anna Marie, but I'm not drinking Frappuccinos tonight. Did you notice that? Drinking sweet tea. I need something to drink. I talk a lot, and I talk rapid fire. I mean, I talk faster than the Vulcan anti-aircraft gun fires rounds, and it fires like 3,000 per minute. So, or is it 6,000? It's 6,000. Anyway, so I need something to drink periodically. And the Frappuccino is just something I drink. I probably should stop. Too much sugar. I can't watch your videos. Thank you. I need to get ready for the day job, says Jacques. Okay. Andre Mostart, what about some music? Okay. That's the third time. Now, 283 people here. Okay, let me do a poll. Who wants to hear music? And then we're going to see. I'm going to see, because every time I do a damn music, people leave. Okay. Where'd my mouse go? Come back here. I remember Windows used to have the dinosaur. The dinosaur would dance around. I always loved that mouse, but it was hard to get that thing to find it. Waiting for the call, yeah. A borehole, okay. Need to go. Husband is now going for triple bypass. Oh my goodness, Lorette, you told us about that. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Does car guard have to go to work and write some programs? Car guards writing programs? We're just fixing to say goodnight, but now stay, otherwise Colonel will think it's the music. Visit to the keg room could have given some hip relief. Yeah, lifting the keg, I could have been crippled and paralyzed. Anyway, so 79% want music. Some of my moves, okay. Free radical, okay. Free radicals. I don't like radicals. I don't like terrorists. I don't like radicals. I don't like anarchists. Okay, the penguins have knees. Yeah, that's a great song. That's fun. All right, let's go over here. So, what was the one? Waiting for the call. Where is waiting for the call? When did I do waiting for the call? I thought I did that yesterday. Where's that song at? I thought I did waiting for the call. Am I imagining I did a song called Waiting for the Call? Double Standards, The General's Tale, Morning Brew, Stay Strong. I don't see Waiting for the Call. I thought I did a song called Waiting for the Call. That's weird. I thought so. I thought I did Waiting for the Call. I don't see anything called Waiting for the Call. I thought I did that. No, but I thought I just did it, Waiting for the Call. Skeeter season. Waffle Man, no. Cat got your tongue. Let me exit it and try to come back to it. Maybe it's just plain difficult. No, it's not here. Not here. I would have sworn I did that song, Waiting for the Call. That is weird. That is really weird. Huh. No, you don't have to pay for Telegram. It's free. Telegram is free. Telemarketers making pay a price. The app is free. Telegram is free. Okay, you haven't seen a song about Waiting for the Call. I would have sworn I did a song Waiting for the Call, that Freedom Bird. That's strange. All right, well, let me play Double Standards, and I'll make a new song, Waiting for the Call, okay? Let's play Double Standards, okay?
me they shout so proud. Limos rolling through the crowd so loud. Pocket stuffers in their tailored suits, while the hungry wear broken boots. Can you hear it? The hollow laugh. The rich ride high, the rest take the shaft. Double standards, double pain. Promises fall like acid rain. They build their walls, we build the fight. Truth in the dark burns so bright. A banquet feast while the children cry. Golden plates for the well-connected lie. A nation sold for a paper stack. We take one step forward, they pull us back. How do we rise? How do we break? When every move feels like a mistake. Double standards, double pain. Promises fall like acid rain. They build their walls, we build the fight. Truth in the dark burns so bright.
All right, that's Double Standards. Did that one last night. So here it is, Get Me Out of Here, a pop song on Radio Afterlife. Get Me Out of Here, Waiting for the Call.
Waiting by the window where the shadows crawl. Clock ticks louder than a heart beats fall. This place feels like a heavy chain. Every day repeats the same refrain. Get me out of here, I can't breathe no more. Walls of hate, they bruise and roar. Get me out, I'm begging the skies. Let me find a way.
I started the music,
Get me out of here.
287.
I can't breathe no more.
Now 248.
Walls of hate, they bruise and roar. Get me out, I'm begging the skies. Let me find a world where hope still flies. South of the
Yes, Son of Bloom, and I've made songs for those staying behind. I've made songs about staying in South Africa. And I'll make another one shortly. Version 2.
Waiting by the window where the shadows crawl. Clock ticks louder than a heartbeat's fall. This place feels like a heavy chain. Every day repeats the same refrain. Get me out of here, I can't breathe. No more walls of hate, they bruise and roar. Get me out, I'm begging the skies. Let me find a world where hope still flies. The insults bite like shards of glass. The air's too thick, the days won't pass. Poverty's grip, it holds too tight. Dreams fade like stars in the daylight. I scream in silence, I cry in my head, chasing a freedom that's always misled. Get me out of here, I can't breathe. No more walls of hate, they bruise and roar. Get me out, I'm begging the skies. Let me find a world where hope still flies. South of the world, north of my heart, this place is tearing my soul apart. Discord in the streets, fire in the rain. I need to escape, escape this Get me out of here, I can't breathe. No more walls of hate, they bruise and roar. Get me out, I'm begging the skies. Let me find a world where hope still
Get Me Out of Here. All right, that's Get Me Out of Here. That's the much better version of that. Yes, I'm going to save that one. Get Me Out of Here. Save image. Cheers. Rubbing up against the table there. Hang on. Get Me Out of Here. Now, Bitter Ender Anthem. You guys ready for this? Yeah, the second one's just better. Here we go. Bitter Ender Anthem.
Roots dig deep It's a red, red ground. The sun beats down, but we're still around.
Call us stubborn, call us tough. We wear the scars, but it's never enough.
Through fire and stone, through storm and sky, we hold the line, we won't say goodbye. Like ours never fall.
Through camps and ashes, through dust and rain, we carry the loss, we carry the pain.
Still here we stand, unbroken, unbowed. Our voices rise, fierce and loud.
Bitter Ender Anthem. Let me just interject something here very quickly, folks, okay? Number one, let's, as I said from the outset of this, because we have people on both sides of this, people saying, you're crazy, why would you ever stay here? And people saying, what are you, cowards? Why are you leaving? Knock it off. I'm not in your shoes, you're not in their shoes. You can't speak for them. You weren't there when what happened to them happened to them. You don't live in the fear they live every day. Maybe you live in your own fear, and it's your choice to stay. Leaving is not cowardice. I'm not saying anybody said that, but I heard those comments from some right-wing Afrikaners saying Afrikaners don't flee. That's nonsense. How do you think you got to Africa? Did you just appear in Africa one day? No, you fled Europe. You fled religious persecution. You fled monarchies. You sought brighter opportunities and brighter shores for yourself and your progeny. It's human nature. Don't criticize people when you don't stand in their boots. Don't criticize people when you haven't lived their life. It's morally inept and wrong for you to do that. Those of you leaving, don't criticize people who love the land and are refusing to give up and want to keep trying. It's their prerogative. There will always be Afrikaners in South Africa, no matter what the ghouls and racists try to do. So enough. Enough. It's not a Refugee channel. The evening is a commentary and analysis channel and a get-together for everybody for camaraderie. All right? Second version, Bitter Ender Anthem.
Roots dig deep in this red ground. Sun beats down, but we're still around.
Call us stubborn, call us tough. We wear the scars, but it's never enough.
Through fire and stone, through storm and sky,
We hold the line, we won't say goodbye. Bitter enders, that's what they say. Standing tall, we won't fade away. Through hell or high water, we'll never bend. This is our home till the bitter end. They build fences, they build walls, but hearts like ours never fall.
through camps and ashes, through dust and rain.
We carry the loss, we carry the pain. Still here we stand, unbroken, unbound. Our voices rise, fierce and loud. Bitter enders, that's what they say. Standing tall, we won't fade away. Through hell or high water, we'll never bend. This is our home till the bitter end.
That's the version, Bitter Ender Anthem. Yep, that's the version, folks. That's one right there. Wow. So there, I've done songs for both sides of the equation tonight. A-N-T-H-E-M. All right. So again, I don't live in your shoes. I don't live in your house. I can't speak for you, and nor can anyone else. Your decision to leave, your decision to stay. It's your decision. I mean, honestly, South Africa with South Africans just isn't worth going to. It's just scenery. I'm just saying. It's just scenery. What's the appeal if there's no South Africans there? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. Well, sorry, I got a little choked up on that one. Byron says, thank you for setting straight. Thanks for your hard-working service. You're very welcome. I told myself yesterday, if someone tells me there's still hope, she must talk bullshit with a toilet. Two young cousins working on farms over there. They say it's good, but miss South Africa. No place in South Africa. The mess created. Yeah, I'm with you, DK. Yep. America's amazing, but if you're not American, it's not the same. It can become the same. And my friend up the street is from Denmark. He's American through and through. Naturalized American. Loves his country no end. Doesn't call himself a Danish American, a European American. He calls himself an American. But he does have relatives in Denmark and goes back occasionally. Yep. All right. Irene Berger's out of here. Exactly. Each person has to decide. 3 people I know support me either way. My choice would be the same. All right, Sumari. That's cool. Not reading comments, really. Just getting ready for work. Okay, Sumari. Yeah, the song, that second was, whoa, that one got me teary there, folks. Guys, also remember there are 4 sides of the story. The ones that want to go, the ones that want to stay, the ones that want to go but can't, and the ones that want to stay but can't. Oh, man, that's a good way to put it, Lynette. Second version, Goosebumps. Yeah, okay, wow. So there you go, folks. I've come up one for everybody there. All right, so like I said, we had 287 viewers. I did the damn poll, and 79% of you and 21% promptly left. You're welcome, Mandy. Yeah, oh, Xavier's got Niagara Falls going there. All right, let's do something. Let's do a lighthearted one, okay? Let's do something lighthearted, okay? Okay. Okay, you're gonna do something with Bob. We're gonna do Bob again. Let's see what happens here. We'll do. All right. Here we go. Oops, missing a letter there. All right, here, let's see what happens, folks. Personally, I think that some of our Southern humor is a trauma response. It is. I can't say it's an extremely difficult decision, but America is very helpful and awesome if you can decide to go. Yeah, America's amazing. Yeah, Eli, I got you. People asked Chris that in live streams a while back. What's that, Nicola? What did Nicola ask? If you were a South African living here right now, knowing what you know about the country, would you consider yourself applying refugee? Well, Nicola, generally speaking, I think, yeah, it's an option, but it depends on circumstances. If I'm Johann Rupert, probably not. If I'm most people, maybe. All right. This is the Bugger Off Bunnies escape. You guys ready for this? Bob is back. Here we go. Let's see how it sounds.
Booger off bunny, he's on the run, hopping through the night, dodging Frankenstein fun. With a twitch of his nose and a flick of his ear, he whispers to himself, gotta get out of here. Carrots in my pocket, fear in my chest, these undead hairs don't let you rest. Hop, 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 don't look back, Frankenstein bunny's on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive, bugger off bunny's got to survive.
This is because those rabbits with the stuff growing out of their heads. In Colorado.
And in the Colorado moonlight, shadows creep. Zombified rabbits that never sleep. They stitched up their tails, they bolted their feet. Bugger off bunny says nope, retreat. The colonel's my safe place, my carrot filled in. Just need to outrun these freaky hair men. Hop, 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 don't look back, Frankenstein bunny's on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive, bugger off bunny's got to survive. Bugger off bunny.
I told her to put a lot of trumpets in.
don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger off, bunnies got to survive. Hop, 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 don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger off, bunnies got to survive.
That was good.
You got
Oh yeah, the bugger off bunnies escape. The Frankenstein rabbits in Colorado. Here we go, version number 2. Gosh, that's too much. Similar.
Bugger up bunny, he's on the run. Hopping through the night, dodging Frankenstein fun. With a twitch of his nose and a flick of his ear, he whispers to himself, gotta get out of here. Carrots in my pocket, fear in my chest. These undead hares don't let you rest. Hop, 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 don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger up, bunnies got to survive.
Yeah, the first one's better.
In the Colorado moonlight, shadows creep. Zombified rabbits that never sleep. They stitched up their tails, they bolted their feet. Bugger off, bunny says nope, retreat. The Colonel's my safe place, my carrot-filled den. Just need to outrun these freaky hairmen. Hop, 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 don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger up, bunnies got to survive.
I like the first one better. But this could be a bar sing-along. It's got that nice cadence to it, the pause.
Hop, hop, hop.
It's like the chicken song, you know.
Hop, 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 don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Hop, 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 stay alive. Bugger up, bunnies got to survive.
Yeah, it is a dance floor collab.
Hop, hop, hop. Oh, hop, hop, hop. Hop, hop, hop. Bugger up, bunnies got to survive.
I think I'll call that one Frankenstein, but the other one I'll call Bugger Off Bunny. I'll put them both on. Excuse me, little hiccup there. Well, that was a little lighthearted moment after that deep stuff. The ANC is just a puppet government. The countries that finance and benefit this. Yep. Hey, Gideon, what's up? This one is also very good. It's a dance. It is. I can see people going hop, hop, hop on the dance floor, and then it pauses. You know, don't look back. So you can just see that. You see all these people out there in the dance floor, hop, hop, hop. Don't look back. Frankenstein bunnies on the attack. Ooh, 19 million stolen. Wow, that's crazy. 19 million, that's a lot. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, that was fun. Shall we do another one? Any ideas for a song? We're on a roll tonight. Any ideas for a song? You're welcome, Christoph Arda. It's my pleasure. I love that name, Arda. Okay, I went to day without locking door. Will never dare do it here. Such a difference, uncomplicated. Fill the potholes. Yeah, did we do a pothole song already? I thought we did a pothole song. Trying to remember. Fill the potholes. That's a good idea, Vanna. Let me think about that one. Fill the potholes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about the stupid people doing sign saying because that's a Bill Engvall thing. I think it might be copyrighted. So it's a good idea though. Let's think about that one long and hard. I don't need to get in any trouble. Yeah, my Spotify account seems to stagnated. A little disappointing. Stagnated. Let me go see. Spotify. DJ Silver Eagle. Probably dropped again for all I know. It went up 3 people, but still. Let me do for the Spotify. They all coincide with when I put my picture up there. Maybe people didn't like that. Could just be a coincidence. Maybe it's the reason why. Okay, audience. Okay, we're approaching 12,000 views. But it's really slowed down. It's a bummer. South Africa 298 still. Okay, well, Spotify for artists. Okay, cool beans. DJ Silver Eagle. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at now. Okay. 50,000. Good Lord. I'll seal the Waffle Man, yeah. Oh, I got one. Okay. Here we're going to have fun, okay? All right, let me see what style I want for this. Let's try Afrobeat. See how that comes out. Afrobeat. We'll use male vocals again, okay? All right. Try another one here. Here we go. Let's get ready for work. Shandilo, what's up? Cape Town, okay. Sedgefield's back. Haven't seen him in a couple days. Glad you're all right. Damon Mooley, are you guys going to watch Dreakus? No, I don't really care for this stuff. Four Ways. My front and back doors are always open with it. Are you serious, Alan? I've been to Four Ways. You must be smoking crack. Oh, because your dogs are there. Okay. A hand of help from USA, a ray of light safety. Hey, comrades, that's an interesting one. All right, so this one's Drive Me Crazy. You ready for this, guys? Here we go.
Where do I go? Where do I turn? The wheels keep spinning, but I never learn. Left is right, right is wrong. I'm stuck in the middle of a car horn song. It's a jungle, are your headlights glare? No rules, no mercy, nobody cares. Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, alright. Red means stop, green means go. But why is everybody moving so slow? Yellow's for caution, but they speed instead. Feels like I'm racing just to get ahead. Oh, yeah. Night falls and the lines blur. Confusion hits me like a tire skirt. Turn signals flash like disco strobe. Where's the menu for this global road? Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, alright.
Neon lights are in America. This is a song about you're in America. You're confused about drive on the left, drive on the right. It's a traffic light, not a robot. All right. It's about being in America. Confused about how to drive. Version number 1. Version number 2 coming up on Radio Afterlife. Drive me crazy.
Where do I go? Where do I turn? The wheels keep spinning, but I never learn. Left is right, right is wrong. I'm stuck in the middle of a car horn song. It's a jungle out the headlights glare. No rules, no mercy, nobody cares. Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, a ride. Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, a ride. Yeah, red means stop, green means go. But why is everybody moving so slow? Yellow's for caution, but they speed instead. Feels like I'm racing just to get ahead. Night falls and the lines blur. Confusion hits me like a tie skirt. Turn signals flash like disco strobe. Where's the manual for this global road? Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, a ride. Drive on the left, drive on the right. I'm losing my mind in the neon light. This ain't South Africa, it's a whole new fight. It's a traffic light, not a robot, a ride. Yeah.
That's the Bugger Out Bunny. All right, well, that's enough of that. That was fun. So that was drive on the left, drive on the right, because people are confused. Prices of food decrease when fuel prices decrease. It depends. Good lyrics. What could be applied to life in general? Yeah, Daniel, I think that's good. Okay, Sedgefield. Shocked to see the sewage volume in Cape Town pumps in our ocean. Yeah, it's pretty high. Well, there's too many people there. All those people in the Cape Flats, and it's just crazy the amount of sewage. Yep. A Code 8 license. I have no idea what that means. Petrol decrease and diesel increase makes one wonder. Yeah, anyway, folks, wow, that's 2 hours. Let's wrap it up there. And we've got today on Friday, I'll do the news at some point. We've got a rugby match. Who's playing? Is it the Griquas, I think? Let me take a look and see who we've got on Rugby Ascendant. The Griquas are playing the Sharks at 9 a.m., so I got to be up for that. And then I'll do the news. Wait a second. Yeah, I'll do the news. And then we'll have Donald Trump's press conference with Putin sometime later in the day. Okay? We say goat and gaming greatest of all time. Well, thank you, Fluffy Navel. I've got a goat right up there. He's right there, the greatest of all time. That's my goat. See him up there? Yeah, he's there. Hope Colonel is doing well. Song's getting better and better. Huddle Cop, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, great vibe on the second one. Yeah, the second one's got a great vibe on it. Yep. Car license. Okay. Doesn't mean anything to me. Sharks for life. Carl, good luck with that. Sharks suck. I'm a Province fan, but I also, good news, I like Griquas. So I'm going to load up a couple of those songs tonight, folks. Not all of them. And then I'm going to hit the rack, okay? It's late. It's late. I don't have an important date. I just need rest. It's 1 a.m. 9 o'clock, I'll be doing the rugby. I've got to set it up. I haven't set up on Rugby Ascendant yet, okay? So you guys take care. All right. Well, that's because the machine's probably broken again. Yep. Gotcha. All right, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't done. 340 likes. 2,000 tuned in night. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. God bless. And take care of yourselves. It's Friends and Only Family Friday. Let's see what Donald Trump has in store for us. Cheers.